Hey guys, I'm Danielle, the founder of the Freelance Travel Network, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you guys are here. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my story, my challenges, and my tips and tricks as a designer. So what inspired me to start freelancing? So when I was in high school, I really wanted a job. My friends all worked in retail and I thought it would be the coolest thing ever if I had a retail job. You get discounts on clothes. And so I went to the mall and handed off resume after resume, and I was like, if someone hires me, I promise I'm gonna be the best employee ever. But no one hired me. I remember going home that day and I was absolutely distraught because I was like, if they just gave me a chance, I swear I'd be the best employee. And that day I decided that I would try something different and I would try to work for myself. Shortly after that, I actually got my first job online. So there was a site called ELANT, which was Upwork before it was Upwork, and I found this awesome guy who needed help editing his online dating profile photos. So he wanted to look more tan, he wanted bluer eyes, he wanted whiter teeth, and I was like, this is amazing. I could get paid to learn Photoshop skills. He paid me $25 per photo. I edited about 4 or 5 photos. It was amazing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never ever gonna get a normal job. And my favorite thing about freelancing is not just the financial benefits, but it's the places that I get to go, the people that I get to see and meet, and the community that's around it. It's been absolutely amazing. This journey has been wonderful. I've had a chance to visit all of these amazing places around this world. I've gotten to go to see my employee in Vietnam recently. I get to go to Canada to visit my parents. I get to go to Bangkok just to get my hair done sometimes. And it's been absolutely amazing. I couldn't imagine a few years ago being able to have all this freedom and also be able to take my work with me. Why did I create the Freelance Travel Network? So it actually started out a little bit selfish. A lot of my friends in the summer had these jobs and I was the only one working from home, so it was pretty lonely. So I was like, maybe if I teach some people how to work online, I'll have more people to hang out with in the summer. And it started off like that, but it grew into something so much more. I had these amazing friends who were artists, who were creatives, who had a lot of trouble getting paid for the amazing things that they do. And when I showed them how to freelance, when I showed them how to find clients who love them for them, they started becoming more of their authentic self. They started being able to find clients that absolutely loved the work and adored what they did, and it was amazing. That's exactly why I created the Freelance Travel Network, to help creatives like yourself find clients who love you for you, so you can be your most authentic, truest self and get paid for it. Why did I choose to be a designer? Well, it's kind of funny because design actually found me. So when I first started off on my creative journey, I was quite young, and so I had a lot of time to experiment and to play and to try different things. And so I started off as a poet, or a self-proclaimed poet at least. And through poetry, I found drawing, and I started drawing and sketching alongside with my poems. And then with drawing, I found painting, and then with painting, I found design. And I fell in love with design, because design I could do from anywhere. I just had my laptop, I had my computer, I had my iPad, and I could actually doodle and draw and create something really beautiful. The other thing I love about design is that as a designer, it's very humbling. As an artist, I can say, hey, here's my work and this is my interpretation. This is what I need you to think about it. But as a designer, I think there's a different relationship with the products that you build, because only through those products can you really communicate. And so as a designer, you're kind of always wrong in a sense. It's very humbling because the customer, the consumer, the person interacting with your products is always right. And that's when I really fell in love with design, because it made me think about, okay, how are other people interpreting this? How are other people experiencing this? And design helped me build a lot more empathy. 3 tips, 3 things I wish I knew when I first started out freelancing. My first tip is freelancing is a journey, it's not a destination. So many freelancers come to me and they're like, Danielle, all I need is one more client. All I need is to make this income. And I used to feel this way. I was like, okay, if I get 1 client, then I'll be happy. If I get 2 clients, then I'll be happy. And there was always this milestone that always seemed a bit unobtainable. There's this milestone that I was delaying my happiness for. I wasn't hanging out with friends sometimes because I'm like, I just need to work on this. I just need to do this. But the irony is, when I started enjoying the journey, when I started appreciating exactly where I am today, oh my goodness, the clients started coming to me because I didn't have that air of desperation, because I was really in love with my life, in love with the process, and in love with learning. Tip number 2, freelancing isn't about your skills. I know you're probably thinking, what is she talking about? Of course it's about my skills. But I meet so many designers who spend most of their time scaling up or worrying when their skills not going to be relevant, or worrying they don't have the right skills for the industry. But guys, there's no need to worry, because freelancing is not about your skills. It's actually about your value. So your value as a designer is not directly correlated to how well you can use Sketch or InDesign or Photoshop. Your value as a designer is correlated to how well you solve a problem in the marketplace. How much value do you provide for your clients? And that's what freelancing is truly about. Tip number 3, don't get obsessed with income goals. So when I first started freelancing, I didn't have many income goals, and I would worry like, oh my goodness, all the business books and everyone around me told me I should set these income goals. But I had really good processes. Say I want to make an extra $50,000 a month. What I would do is I'd send a certain amount of outreach every single week that guaranteed me that I would get in front of a certain amount of clients. And say you want to get 3 new clients this week. Maybe you can focus on nurturing your leads every single day. So I like to stay on the side of processes over goals. Goals encourage just one kind of big sprint, while processes encourage continuous action day after day. My biggest challenges as a freelancer. So my first biggest challenge was, how do I create value? So when I first started freelancing, it was really tumultuous. I was looking at other people, I was trying to copy their profiles, but then I realized the biggest barrier to my success was actually myself. It was how I perceived myself in the marketplace. It was how I valued my work. I would get upset with clients and get upset on Upwork because I would be like, oh my goodness, no one will accept my higher rates. But the truth was that I didn't see the value that I brought to clients. So what's holding you back is not you not knowing that software. It's not your proposals. It's not anything like that. It's truly that you don't see the value that you bring. And you bring so much value. I guarantee it. You're changing people's lives. You're changing businesses' lives. But you have to believe that yourself before anyone else can. Challenge number 2, how not to freak out. So when you first start doing something new, it's scary and it's kind of stressful. I remember when I first started designing, I would freak out all the time. I remember there were moments where I would miss a client's message, or I'd send something late, or my software wasn't working, or I just didn't know how to do something, and I would freak out. I'd feel like I'm about to pass out because I didn't want to mess up. I was so scared of messing up. But guys, this is a journey. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna miss a deadline. You're gonna do something wrong, and it's better to just be gentle with yourself. Accept the mistake, learn from it, and move on rather than freak out and get into a complete panic. Challenge number 3, having too much work or too much free time. So when you first start freelancing, you might encounter the feast and famine. So there's one point where you have so many clients, almost too many clients, you don't know what to do. And then there are other times when you're completely idle and you're like, oh my goodness, will I ever get another client again? And so that feast and famine cycle happens because you don't have a reliable system to get clients. And during that time, as you're learning how to build that system, something you can do is take advantage of those waves. So when I was in a total feast, when I had too many clients, I would actually hire some of my friends. So if some of you guys are in design school, or you're in school for your profession, you can actually hire some of your classmates to help you out on projects. And then when I was in famine, when I felt like I didn't have any clients, I would use that time to build a reliable system to get clients, so that wouldn't ever happen again. Challenge number 4, how do I stay on task? So between my 2 companies, the Freelance Travel Network and Studio Moku, my design agency, I have so much coming into my inbox. I have a big team, and there's so many things to do on a daily basis. So how do I stay on task? The truth is that I'm not always perfect. I do miss things do slip through my inbox, but when I really need to focus, I turn off my notifications on my phone. Sometimes I even put my computer on airplane mode if it's something that I can do offline, and I really go to a space that I can just block out everything. So maybe it's your local library, maybe it's a co-working space, or maybe it's that room in your house that you can just get really focused in. My working routine. So my working routine changes from time to time, but I try and keep a little of consistency. So I wake up when my body's ready to wake up, usually around 6 and sometimes as late as 8 a.m. I do a tiny meditation in the morning, like 20-30 minutes, and I often have a bit of a dance to kind of get that cortisol out of my body and get my body moving. And then I work till about noon, and I love to take my midday nap around 1, have some lunch, get to the gym by 4:30. I've been doing gymnastics lately, which has been incredible and so much fun. I usually check my email again around 6 and then head to bed by around 10 or 11. My working space. So I work out of a co-working space here in Bali, and I absolutely love it. It's a chance to meet other digital nomads and other creatives. It's an amazing opportunity to connect. Today I'm working out of Genesis co-working space. This is where I'm actually filming this video, and it's such a beautiful space. If you're interested, I'll put the link down below so you guys can check it out. But midday, sometimes I go for coffee, sometimes I meet up with friends, and the whole thing is, I think sometimes we get a bit too obsessed with routine. So I love having a bit of consistency in my life, but things will change, and sometimes I think we're a bit hard on ourselves when we don't wake up early every single morning, or we don't do the same thing every single day. Like, your energy levels will change, your days will always look different, and there's gonna be so many different factors. So don't be too hard on yourself if you're not very, very structured in terms of your routine. My team, the people who make my dreams come true. So why did I decide to hire a team anyways? So I remember I had this realization one day, and it was that I actually wasn't that great of a designer. So it was one of the best realizations I've ever had, because even though I'm not an amazing designer, I'm a great high-level thinker. I'm a great strategist, but I'm just not the greatest at execution. So I hired people who are better than me. I hired people who could do my job better than me. And for any of you guys who are considering outsourcing, a lot of you probably have this idea that only you can do what you do, but there are people who can do it a lot better than you in most cases. And so when I was in Argentina, I was having so much fun there. I really, really didn't want to spend my time working. And that's when I actually hired my first employee. And that person took off so much off my plate. It was amazing. I could have never imagined a life where, I can delegate and I can find the clients, I can do the sales, but I didn't actually have to execute and deliver on the final product. About Studio Moku. So I created Studio Moku about 4 years ago, and we actually work with tech startups and help them with customer adoption through UX UI design. It's been an incredible journey. So the word Moku actually means island, and I called it island because I feel like we create these brand islands, for the new products that come out in the world. We create a little world for the customers, we create a little world for the founders, and it's so exciting. How am I managing my team? So if I'm not freaking out, I'm generally a pretty positive boss. And how I work is I give people on my team autonomy. I give them control over the project that they're working on. And so they have 100% control over the deliverables. And this is amazing and empowering. And I've seen my team members grow so much because of this way of management. And something that I want to challenge you guys is, if you're having trouble looking and finding good talent, my question to you is, are you a good client? So a lot of people say to me, Danielle, it's so hard to find good talent out there, but a lot of times you're not the best client. And I know this because I was a really bad client. I would expect things but not really communicate it, and then I would get really upset when they didn't deliver on what I expected but didn't communicate. I think it's really important to remember that you're just working with other people. Everyone's human. You're gonna mess up, they're gonna mess up. And so one piece of advice is, act like your dream client. Act like your dream client and see what your team delivers for you. You're gonna be so surprised. My funniest story while freelancing. So it definitely has to be my first job, when this lovely, lovely man asked me to edit his online dating photos for $25 a photo. He's like, hey, can you make me more tan? I was like, sure. Can you make my teeth whiter? I was like, okay. And can you make my eyes bluer? I was like, no problem, dude. But I wasn't even that great at Photoshop. So I literally just took the brown paintbrush and kind of started painting on him, and took the blue and painted in his eyes, and then made his teeth a bit whiter and turned down the opacity. Honestly, to me, he kind of looked like an alien in the end, but he absolutely loved it. I wish him the best in life, and I kind of wonder to this day, did those photos actually help him get a partner? Is it because of my design work now he's happily in love? All right, guys, that was so much fun. I love sharing my story with you and my journey as a designer, and I wish you guys all the best in your freelancing life, no matter where you are. And just remember that this is a journey, it's not a destination. It's meant to be enjoyable, you're meant to have fun, and I know sometimes things might seem a bit hard and unclear, and I'm gonna do the best on this channel to give you everything that you need to succeed as an amazing freelancer. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be giving you so many more tips and tricks. And guys, I'll see you in the next video. Whoa, man, that was a freaking lecture. Some amazing tips about being something. I don't know. Okay, wait. Just go. Go away. No, end it. And I forgot how this ends. What's the end? Yay!